Hola estudiantes, estos son tus apuntes de Unidad 2, Lección 2, Gramática, las construcciones con el impersonal se. Ok, entonces, estas construcciones con el se impersonal puede usar el pronombre se antes del verbo conjugado para evitar, avoid, a especificar a la persona que hace la acción del verbo. En inglés, este es the elusive one, like one would open the container if they wish to eat the food. Or yes, one would do that if they want a good grade. Si un infinitivo o un nombre sustantivo singular sigue el verbo, use el, ella, usted forma del verbo. So when deciding how to conjugate your verb, decide if you're using an infinitive or a singular noun immediately following your verb. If there is an infinitive or a singular noun, conjugate your verb in the el, ella, usted form. Si un nombre plural sigue el verbo, use ellos, ellas, ustedes forma del verbo. So you only have two possible conjugations, either the el or ellos forms. Ejemplos. En vez de, instead of, ellos hablan español aquí. Se habla español aquí. Spanish is spoken here. I don't want to say they speak Spanish here, but rather just Spanish is spoken here. Notice how there's no subject, right? I'm not trying to just specify one group of people or a certain person, so I'm just going to use the impersonal se. It's impersonal. You're trying to take away the subject. And because español es singular, se habla. En vez de nosotros publicamos todas las entrevistas, se publican todas las entrevistas. All the interviews are published. Again, I'm not trying to show who published them. That doesn't matter. What matters is that all the interviews are published. Again, because the noun is plural this time, entrevistas, we go with the ellos form of the verb. Se publican. Más ejemplos. The flyers are given to announce the telethon. It does not matter who is giving out the flyers. What matters is that they have been given. So we take our verb, are given, dar, use the impersonal se dan los volantes. Because los volantes is plural, we use the ellos form. Para anunciar la telethon. Last year, the funds were distributed to the community. Again, there's no subject in this sentence, right? So the funds were distributed. It doesn't matter who did it, but it happened. El año pasado se distribuyeron, the ellos form of pretérito, los fondos, plural, a la comunidad. Y finalmente, the advertisement is described in the newspaper. Again, it doesn't matter who put it there. I just want to say that it's out there in the newspaper. So I use the impersonal se describe el anuncio. El anuncio es singular, entonces describe en el periódico. Más práctica. Cambia los infinitivos a frases de se impersonal. So how could I take these infinitives and make them into the impersonal se? Again, it's all about the noun or the infinitive verb that follows. So contar las donaciones, to count the donations. I just want to say the donations have been counted. So se cuentan las donaciones es plural. Alquilar el carro, to rent the car. I don't want to say who's renting the car, but it's been rented. Se alquila el carro. Vender las frutas aquí, to sell the fruits here. It doesn't matter who's selling them, but fruits are sold here. Se venden las frutas aquí. Y buscar un compañero de habitación, to look for a roommate. So again, you're not really saying I'm looking for a roommate, but a roommate is being looked for. Se busca un compañero de habitación. Notice on these last three, a car is for rent, the fruits are being sold, you're searching for a roommate. Many times in español, con anuncios, especialmente, usamos el se impersonal. Because when you make that announcement, that advertisement, you're not really writing a sentence per se where you have a subject and a verb, but rather you're just announcing something. So the se impersonal es muy común con los anuncios clasificados y personales. Otros ejemplos. ¿Cómo se escribe? This is an awesome example that we use every day. How do you write? But really, we're not asking, like, how do you in particular, like to form, right? We're just saying, like, how would anyone write this? How does one write or say, etc.? Just like with ¿cómo se dice? Se busca compañera de piso. So again, in announcements and advertisements, this is very, very common. Se busca compañera singular, like looking for a roommate. Se vende casa. Again, same thing. This house is for sale. So in Espanol, with that announcement, that advertisement, we would use the impersonal se. Se aceptan tarjetas de crédito y débito. Another great example, an advertisement or a letrero that is telling the information that credit and debit cards are accepted here. No se permiten bicicletas y patinetas. Bicycles and skateboards or skates are not allowed here. So no se permiten, another letrero. A veces se gana, a veces se pierde, pero siempre se aprende. Sometimes one wins, sometimes one loses, but always one learns. Again, we're not using the to form, we're not using the usted form, but rather just saying in general, the elusive one. And in English, a lot of times we do say you, like sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But again, is that really directed at one particular person? No, it's elusive for all people. Para enseñar a un niño se necesita más corazón que ciencia. In order to educate or to teach a child, one needs more heart than science. So again, not calling out one particular person, but all people, so se necesita. Oh, es todo. Gracias por mirar y adiós.